You don't give a fuck when you land or not, just let him go. Don't worry about it, he gonna be a shitty fight, but you gotta let punches go.
Last round.
You can't wait until they get in. You miss it, bang, go right back. And don't take 30 seconds to start another fight.
Alexander, I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable.
Look at that! Look at that combination! And the turn.
I kept telling him he had no punch, he couldn't hit, he's swinging like a sissy, he's missing, let me see your bump. I hadn't started dancing yet. A tremendous motivational first round, and Hearns gets hurt. Hearns got stunned. Hackle was stunned early in the round. Great first round. Incredible. Perhaps one of the best in middleweight history.
That black guy, he hits hard.
Fire!
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Hands of Fire Boxing Talk. Today's episode is the 2016 year-end awards, where, of course, we go through our typical fighter of the year, fighter of the year, moment of the year, KO of the year. We got some interesting nominations, too, for what the fuck moment of the year, duck of the year, promoter of the year, sanctioning body of the year. So, we last minute inclusion.
People doing their job.
Yeah, you know, and I think it's only right that we give, credit for people to do their job in a sport that's really been watered down and just a lot of mediocre bullshit. And for the most part, we got to give credit to the guys that are, trying to keep an honest way of going about their job. So let's just jump right into it, because I got a feeling this could be a lengthy podcast. Fight of the year. I'll go first. My pick for fight of the year is Cuadras versus Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. This was a fight for Roman Gonzalez moving up to 155 pounds and fighting the WBC champion Carlos Cuadras in a fight that went, it was 115, where obviously, like I said, Roman moving up in weight, taking on the WBC champion, and the fight went the distance with a unanimous decision for Roman Gonzalez. It was a very entertaining fight. The reason I had it as my pick is just because of the stakes, the high level competitiveness, but at the same time, it was still a clear enough decision for me to have for at least for me to believe that it was unanimous. But rewatching it again, which I did about 2 days ago, HBO's doing their best of 2016 fights, and you really watching it again just get to appreciate just how much fun it was to watch that fight. I mean, even though the enormous avalanching pressure that Chocolatito was putting on Cuadras, it seemed to actually take a toll on him, because he seemed to gas out toward the middle of the rounds, which while Cuadras wasn't necessarily getting totally beaten up, it didn't seem to have the typical effects that usual Chocolatito opponents have throughout this onslaught. And, he was definitely, weathering it. And, shoe shining in between. A little bit early in the fight, his movement, I think, was a bit counterproductive for him. But he was using it a bit more effectively toward the middle and late rounds. And that's why, really, I would say about from the 7th on were just classic rounds. I mean, definitely competitive. And just like I said, an all-around fun fight, and its meaning and its entertainment value is why I give it fight of the year. The reason why I don't necessarily give Thurman Porter the fight of the year is, it was, and I know people are going to tell me like, well, this is the way that Porter fights, but it was just that Porter, it was more or less of watching a matador and a bull, where clearly you were just watching Thurman just more or less deal and at least try to keep up activity to keep Porter off, and it had Porter be a bit more effective with what the pressure he was bringing, it would been a better fight. And honestly, I would put runner-up for Salido Vargas.
Fight of your candidate was Thurman versus Porter. Honestly, that was the fight where you can look at both guys at the end of the fight, regardless of the outcome, and both of them showed up. And that's what I liked about that fight. It was a highly anticipated fight. Thurman showed up. Porter showed up, and in spite of what a lot of people were saying, that he's a one-dimensional brawler, that all he's going to do is apply pressure, but he was in that fight. And I feel that he could give anybody problems after that fight. He could give anybody problems at 147. That's honestly one of the fights that I enjoyed the most out of 2016. That one, Ward versus Kovalev, Carl Frampton versus Leo Santa Cruz. But out of all of them, Thurman versus Porter was a standout because both of them guys showed up. Both of them guys came to fight. It was a bit of a stalemate in the sense that Keith dealt with the pressure as best as he could, but Porter was very much in that fight, and he wasn't outclassed, and that's what I liked about that fight. Nobody was outclassed.
I picked Thurman to win that fight, and when the fight was over, when I was in my house, I was like Porter might have won, like watching it in real time. And I got the sound on because I had people with me, and usually I watch with the sound off, and I score differently. It's like being there when the sound's on. But the reason why I got to pick Porter versus Thurman is because the fight was, when I look at Chocolatito versus Roman Gonzalez, what made it was so great was that both of them was able to get off with each other. And it was like neither one of them was able to really defend each other, or defend themselves against the other guy. Because Roman came out that fight looking like E.T., like on some shit. Like he was getting caught with shoe shines and all that shit leaning in. And I was just like, well, it was amazing that he got hit with that shit and was able to get it together and come back with what he came back with, and he ultimately wound up taking over. But when I was watching Thurman versus Porter, it was like nobody took over, and Thurman was landing cleaner, more effective shots, but Porter was bringing it down to where he wanted it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times he was able to get the fight to his tempo. And then Keith, in his tempo, was able to land more cleaner, effective shots. It was great to me. Exactly. So I had to rock. That had to be the fight of the year to me. And then when you look, that was evenly. The whole situation was just even. It was nothing more 50-50 in life than that fight, man. To me.
Plus, I'm being partial because the only thing that Keith ain't do that I was hoping that he would do, I was hoping he was going to one-time him, but he was sometime that night. Mm-hmm. But as far as Porter's aggression working against him, well, that's kind of what I was banking on. That he going to stay in Keith's face, and because of that pressure that he's applying, that's going to give Keith them opportunities to land them good, clean shots, and the judges going to favor that anyway. So it's to me, that's really the fight of the year. If not for that fight, we wouldn't have Thurman versus Garcia, and we've been waiting for that fight for a long time.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. But my counter argument to that is the fact, I go back to it. It's clean landing punches, and it was more or less one guy doing that. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was pressure. It was pressure versus clean punches.
But the pressure had its moments, man. It had its moments.
I understand that.
In boxing, it's about 5 ways to skin the cat, like I call it. So what I'm saying is, when you fighting a guy and you realize, this guy is a better technician than me, and he'll probably land cleaner and more effective punches than me throughout this fight, then I have to be able to bring something to the table that allow me to be able to work and get some good work off on him too, because I'm not going to land clean, effective punches like him. So boxing, it comes in all shapes and forms. Sometimes,
it's kind of like Maidana. It's kind of like the Maidana Mayweather fight. That
Maidana, his shit got to be bullshit for it to be effective. That's what made the fight good was Maidana's beat. Yeah, if Maidana was regular, he would have got outclassed.
Yeah, if he would have went in there with the idea that he's going to try to outskill Floyd or try to
it was no fight. Yeah, and shit would have been no fight. Exactly.
Well, I guess before we go on to our next category, I'd do another honorable mention was Salido versus Vargas, which was definitely.
I'm mad that some people actually had the nerve to call Salido a journeyman. Having performed the way he did in that fight, motherfuckers was calling him a journeyman. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers is wildin', man. Y'all say any old bullshit.
Yeah, there's a lot of fans that are just like that.
Salido got a lot of haters, man. You know what's up with him.
Yeah, he damn sure do. But I mean, it ain't like he ain't earned it. I'm gonna leave it at. He played foul.
Well,
If you fucking G.Alé, people ain't gonna like you. Andrew Galata had them same kind of hate. But moving on. Yeah,
all right. So
that's a good ass fight.
our next category is Fighter of the Year. Now it seems to be a toss up between two fighters here, and among those two, my pick was Vasyl Lomachenko. He can also fall into another category that's going on into this podcast later on. But for me, just the performance level. I mean, the opponents. Granted, I mean, I know some people aren't going to put total stock into Rocky Martinez, or considering the conditioning of Nicholas Walters, but overall, I mean, he completely knocked out Rocky Martinez. He actually gave, Rocky was, had that look on his face, like he fell almost like one of those chalk outlines on the street, after a crime scene, and had him head sit up, you got knocked out bad when you're sitting up, and you're looking like what the hell just happened? Like he literally looked so confused. He's like, who was I just? Did he just hit me? Like, what the fuck just hit me?
I give you that one, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I think ESPN picked him as Fight of the Year. I'm not sure who picked him, but I'm gonna give it to Frampton just because I can't take nothing away from the guys that he fought and when he fought them. I would have gave it to Vasyl, but it's like at the end of the day, Nicholas Walters still had a year in between his last fight before he fought you. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to keep it a buck when it comes to that. Whereas I can't say that Leo Santa Cruz was too inactive, and I can't say that Scott Quigg was too inactive. Carl Frampton, ultimately, he won a title, climbed the division, got another title. So for me, he's Fighter of the Year. Even though he ducked the shit out of Rigo, he's still Fighter of the Year.
I'm going to be honest. Because this is funny. I actually thought about saying Baby Pacquiao, right? But then I'm like, nah, get out of here, because the market, I would not want to give it to Carl Frampton, because it's like the fighter fan in me is like, how you gonna be the Fighter of the Year when you duck the best fighter in your division openly and don't even care about it? But I can't say nobody got better work. They don't got better work because Bud don't got better work because of who the opponents were.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's definitely,
I mean, he was more impressive in the way he was winning fights, but he wasn't. So, I think I gotta just rock this quick too. I have.
Well, I'm gonna have.
If I don't give the man Pacquiao, but look, Tim Bradley was on the pound for pound.
Yeah. So listen. Well, I mean, here's to add to your point. To add to your point, though, Ibn, I'm like, and we talked about this off air. For a Fighter of the Year, I mean, these guys really had 2 fights, basically between, or 4 fights in between them, 2 each, and it's more or less how much value you put into each of those fights. Now, I mean, the Quigg fight was definitely a dud, and Julius, you talked about more or less, he still deserves the credit nonetheless, whatever the result was, but performance definitely counts as far as at least my belief when it comes to being Fighter of the Year. So that's why I'm leaning toward Lomachenko, but I'm definitely making sure that it's clarified there that I definitely have him as my runner-up though. Like, nonetheless, he still did his thing this year. So I don't know if you guys had anything to add before we go on to Moment of the Year.
Well, I'm rocking with what you're saying. Like I said, the way the landscape is this year, man, it is what it is. Quigg actually, even though it was 2 fights, the substance in those 2 fights was like, because I'm one of them dudes, like, you might fight 4 times a year, but if you sport 4, who the fuck's? You know what I mean? If somebody else sport 2 quality guys, or they sport 2 quality guys and an okay guy, I'm rocking with that. Ward had a pretty good year, too.
Yeah, that's true, too.
I mean, yeah.
It was pretty good. Because you beat the number 1 contender, you beat the champion.
No bullshit. We can't take nothing away from Ward's year. but the outcome of the fight and as contentious as it was, in retrospect, would say Carl Frampton. In retrospect,
that's why I didn't pick him. That's why I didn't pick him. You see, I didn't pick him, but what I'm saying is, when you put him next to Carl Frampton, he had 3 fights though. You see what I'm saying? And then look who he beat in the end. Remember, we could put the, you know what I mean? It was questionable thing on it, but it still was like G guy, another top 3 pound for pound guy that you beat, and then you beat his #1 contender for him. You know what I mean?
So just
another guy in between.
Just to clarify real quick. Just to clarify, Edmund, real quick. Who's your pick is for Fighter of the Year?
Fighter?
Yeah, for Fighter of the Year.
Man, I had to pick Frampton.
Picking Frampton? All right. Reluctantly.
Very reluctantly. Very reluctantly.
All right, that's fine. All right, so now we're moving on to Moment of the Year. This is no real nomination, just basically for you guys, like what the best moment of 2016 was for you guys.
Without a doubt.
Well, let me go first before you guys go. And my pick was the Ali tribute at the StubHub that took place. This was literally the day after Ali had passed on the Friday. Salido versus Vargas was the following day. This was just a few hours after his memorial service, I believe. And, it was... just to see how, the crowd was consistently chanting Ali during, great moments of the fight. Salido came out with a Muhammad Ali T-shirt. It's definitely, for a boxing's greatest champion. And, honestly, it doesn't feel like there could really be a tribute almost worthy enough to, or at least that could even profess just how much Ali meant to the sport and even just to the world. More than the sport, just the world.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a big moment for me. But because I have 2 moments, my other moment of the year was after Amir Khan getting knocked spark out from Canelo Alvarez. Virgil Hunter was a little animated with Max Kellerman. And where he called out Canelo and told him, "Well, we took the risk. Now it's your turn." And when you listen to some of the boxing media or just writers or overall, they're so confused about this moment. They're like, "Well, we never seen him. That was odd. Very strange for another fighter to tell another fighter to take a challenge and things like that." And what they're missing in this whole moment is that what you're noticing there is a very angry Virgil Hunter. He's upset. He's upset because he knew what the risk was for this fight. And pretty much this knockout was inevitable. And they went into the fight knowing that. So
it was a fucking countdown. Everybody knew it.
Yeah, so on top of that, it happened, and this is and he was upset. Listen, he was upset. Hold on, let me just finish. He was upset because here he knew how Canelo would handle this. This is something is walking around with his chest out after doing what everybody thought you were going to do, and he was upset with that moment. And he's like, you know what? Fuck that. You're not the big shit that you think you are. You go take the challenge.
It was tactless. It's like, how do you celebrate a victory like that? After everything that was going on, after everything that led up to that fight, lest we forget. And when I don't want to get deep into the shit because I'm tired of talking about Canelo Alvarez.
Right.
But to make a long story short, you had to lie to the WBC just to fight this guy. You told them you was going to be acclimating to 160, and you turned around and fought Amir Khan. You ain't got nothing to be proud of in this moment, even if you knocked him out. You ain't got nothing to be proud of.
That. It's not even just that. You got to realize the kind of coach that Virgil Hunter is. Amir Khan was one of his guys that was in prior to that situation. That fight wouldn't even happen. Virgil wouldn't even let nothing like that go down. But you got a kid that's saying, I want to go take this opportunity. I want to try this. And I think that you can help me defensively. You can put me in certain positions to go ahead on and do it. You help the kid.
Yeah, Virgil was invested in that shit.
You go like him for him. But look, though, no, it's not even that. You got Virgil is the rehabilitating type of coach. He takes fighters when people give up on them and all that and bring them back to life and all that. And Gulo, Birdo, look at the guys he got outside of Dre. Don't just look at Dre. You got to look at what he does. He's a father. That's what Virgil is. He's a real OG. You see what I'm saying? He got love for the fighter. He was hurt.
Yeah.
You could see in his eye, he had like water, man. That nigga was
Yeah,
pissed.
and you heard. I mean,
Like,
you heard it.
Talk about it.
You heard it in his
Because he
voice.
was like, yo. Yeah, he was like, yo, man, you up here acting like this and this and that, dog. You know what you just did?
Yeah.
Because he a welterweight. Like, he couldn't say certain things without, you know what I mean, throwing
Yeah.
out mirror under the bus.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? He wanted to say what we be saying.
And that's what I'm saying, and that's what killed me though. Is like you hear like Max Kellerman is like, well, you know, why is it important to you that Canelo does it? It's like, well, it's not important. Like you're missing the point. It is like and essentially he says it. We took the risk. We knew what was going on. Y'all knew what was going to happen. So why are we going to sit here and pretend that this guy is getting should get grandiose credit for what? Yeah, for what you already thought he was going to do. But those are my moments of 2016. What about you guys?
All right, I'm gonna start off with I had one moment that was a standout moment for a highly anticipated fight that has not happened yet, and that's after the Samuel Vargas fight when Danny Garcia got pissed off, Keith Thurman was popping all that shit. That's my moment of the year. I've been waiting for that fight for a while. Danny looked like he's invested in this fight. He looked like Keith really got under his skin with that cherry picking comment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we talk a lot of shit about Danny, right? But it was nice to see that he might actually come to fight, dog. Like he might upset motherfuckers. Like he might.
Oh, he coming to fight. Oh, yeah, Danny coming to fight.
You know what I'm saying? Like what he said, what he said, like, yeah, I'm a cherry picker because I picked you. I was like, I fucks with Danny for that a little bit. So that was, for me personally, I think that was the highlight moment. That was not a fight, but that was the highlight moment of the year for me.
What about you?
My highlight moment. That's one of my. I'm not gonna lie. Because I got a piggyback. I was going to say that, Julius, like you took it from me. You know, Danny's my guy. And I was going to say, the thing about it was, I know a lot of people look at Danny. It's the way that I know people perceive Danny. So when he did that, I was glad that like people got to see like how he could be. Because he's really like a cool guy, man. Like he's thorough. But like he ain't like he got fire in him. Like you see what I'm saying? It's just that he don't really take part in like too much trash talking or whatever. And Thurman, he could apply his mouth to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't got no problem telling you about something. So I was glad when Danny had fired back. I forgot about Virgil. And I just wanted to say, like, I appreciated that because it let me know that, like, boxing is, like, vicious. You know what I mean? And I coach, you know what I mean? I'm beginning my coaching journey. I'm coaching my son. And I'm involved with other kids, and I care a lot about them, and I know that people will do stuff to him. And I was glad to see that in Virgil because it was like, yo, that's a dude that cares about the people that he worked with. Like, he cares about these people, these fighters. And the thing about it is when people don't care about you, they can put you in any type of situation. You know what I'm saying? There's any type of situation that's beneficial to them monetarily. You know what I mean? So you looking at a guy that, like, you know what I mean, he was in this situation, but he didn't like it going into it. And when it happened, you know, he couldn't even hold it back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was like
he looked like he was going. He looked like he was going to say a lot more shit, or like he wanted to say a lot more shit.
and that it's kind of how it was really abrupt. Because remember, that was in the middle of what Amir Khan was saying. He kind of like took over. He took over a little bit.
Like he had to let it be known. Like, let's keep it real. Like, you know what I mean? And that was just like that was like a coach who genuinely loved the fighter. Like, you know what I mean? And he had just got a bit. So it shows you how he approaches all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, and I'm not gonna lie, but my moment to me personally was when Drake got knocked down. It was a lot of stuff. Because I'm not gonna lie, the reason why that was my moment because my son is the biggest Andre Ward fan. You know what I mean? He's about to he's a little debut. He's gonna debut on February 25th, and he watched his fighter go down, and the gas for him and the rest of the kids face from the gym, and they was like, and I'm looking at Ward, and he gets up. So I automatically start telling him about, you know what I mean, getting up off the canvas. You know what I'm saying? And they just like, it's not looking good. And I'm watching the fight, and every time Kovalev lands a clean punch, it's like, oh my God, right?
And like
Yeah.
the knockdown, it was just like the beginning of like me being on eggshells for the rest of the night, and the kids being on eggshells for the rest of the night. And that moment just was like, it just paused the whole room, man. Like if you guys could have been in the room, because like 15 people in the room, and it's like 7 kids and 8 adults, and it just was like, pause. Oh crap.
Yeah, I mean, it
Damn,
was definitely.
I almost had a heart attack when that shit happened.
It was
man.
real, yo. Yo, shit got real, yo. It got real.
That was definitely a shaky moment. But on to our next category, Potato of the Year, which is really, I would say, originated by Julius and Ring IQ. Basically, just the overall dud or dunce of the year. Someone who made a fool of themselves this past year. And I had 2 picks. One isn't as severe as the other, but my first place winner of the potato of the year is Alexander Povetkin, who failed 2 drug tests, and both with an unexplainable similar situations where your prior drug tests were clean, one popped dirty, and then following ones were clean. Which
you can't sweep it under the rug, because the Osterin didn't even come up when they was talking about that meldonium. They ain't say jack shit about no Osterin. So for him to be trying to say that it was from last year, that's pure bullshit. And if he walked from this shit, if he gets off on some kind of technicality, man, I swear to God.
I mean,
he already did. He already did, because he fought on that same night. That fight was
but it wasn't sanctioned.
Yeah, it wasn't sanctioned. Yeah, WBC dropped their sanctioning for that fight.
John Duwapis basically took whatever, Johan Duwapis took whatever check they cut him and fought basically for no rank, for no advancement, because the WBC didn't sanction that fight.
All right,
he should have never even been able to. Why is it not a rule that he can't be like? Why did he?
Well, listen. Well, that's Russia for you, who also should fall in line with Potato of the Year, because they allowed this shit.
Anymore, bro.
And here's, but well
why
here,
is he alive?
well here.
Because Rob Bisky got deep pockets. That's why.
Yeah,
If you're gonna be real, Rob Bisky got deep pockets.
Well, let me apply some butter to this potato, because it wasn't just the fact that he had repeated dirty tests, but the fact his alibis and his excuses for each situation. He tried to shame Wilder for not taking the fight, and he also tried to shame Stavern for not taking the fight. Then he also tried to blame the sneaky American agencies and his Twitter, and then had his manager blame food that he ate from last year, which is, I mean, this is just an avalanche of bullshit spewing from this guy's mouth.
Yeah, it was a bunch of stupid ass improvisations, and at the end of the day, it doesn't take a genius to see that when you got a guy like Rob Bisky backing you, you gonna get off on a lot. I mean, I'm it bothers me to say it, but there's a good chance that he'll get off on a technicality, and we'll see his dumbass fight for a title
and
again.
You know what?
If I was Wilder, I would not fight that man, no matter what. No, I would not fight that man.
If the WBC decides to mandate it, if they do, which they fuck around and might, it is what it is, man. Look at his back.
Utter bullshit. But let me.
I have no respect for the WBC. I have no respect for the WBC if they let that man go. If they make that man #1 contender for Wilder's title.
They better not.
If they make him, even if they put him in a fight to be the #1 contender, if they give this man any lifeline, I have no respect for that sanctioning body.
And this situation is identical to the situation with the meldonium, where they're saying, "Oh, it's just a fractional amount. It's not enough to it's literally the same situation."
Yeah, and here's the bad
another drug, bro.
But the bad thing.
With meldonium, this is not.
You ain't got to sell it to me. I believe it's over.
Yeah, but here,
and I believe he's cheating now.
But here's the bad part about it is that what it looks like, the fact that it's trace amounts in between clean test. I don't know about you guys, but what that's telling me is that he has a masking agency. That's totally evident now.
Definitely.
That's totally evident. That's exactly what that's for.
Because they never said anything about Osterin when he got popped for the meldonium. They never said nothing about that. You didn't test positive for 2 performance-enhancing drugs. This is in between tests. On top of that, the Osterin has been on the banned list much longer than the meldonium. The Osterin been on the banned list since 2008, so it don't even matter if it's a fractional amount. That's saying
you're not supposed to be near that.
Been banned for years.
Yeah.
Right, you're not supposed to be near that.
So
exactly.
That's I guess that's a clear gold medal winner for Potato of the Year for me. And then
I hate that clown. I hate that clown. I hate Russians.
Yeah, my run. Wait.
So what? I do.
Listen, I feel you. I hear you. I know you're coming from a place of passion. I understand. But my runner-up, and like my runner-up, like though I said it's not as severe, is Rigondeaux, who basically sat on his hands, fought one guy, and a part-time fighter at that. And in the meanwhile, letting the guys that ducked you go on to have pretty good years. So
don't forget that they fucked up his passport on the fight part-time fight. Route to fight the part-time fight.
Rigondeaux's management is the Potato runner-up, not Rigondeaux.
Hey man, but you can't talk. You can't talk. Then, like, if you know what I mean. Like, you can't be talking shit to anybody or calling out anything if you have, incompetency in your camp.
If you Rigondeaux and you want to talk shit to somebody, you need to talk shit to your team about fucking up that passport, because that fight could have happened sooner than later. If anything, it's a damn shame that a professional fighter's management team can't secure a passport.
Can I say something on this air? I'm not even going to lie. Now, y'all already know this about me. And everybody know I'm a big Rigondeaux. But I'm a big Rigondeaux fan, but I'm just going to say this. He just was in China, and he just was in Japan. That was, like, out of his last 4 fights, that was 2 of them, right? And then he had 2 fights after that, if I'm correct. If I'm not, it was 3 fights, tops. So within his last 5 fights, 2 of them were over in Japan and over in China. And you mean to tell me you ain't got no passport? I think that man be getting that.
I'm not going to play that now. I'm not going to play that game, because look at
it. Ain't a game. It's true.
Look at it ain't a game. It's true. Look at the time span in between John Dickens and the last guy.
Y'all don't know how to get a passport, Julius? You mean to tell me y'all don't know how to get a passport?
I'm not going to play a violin unless I have precedence to do so, in which case it seems to me that he has a piss poor management team and they are just inept until I have reason to suspect foul play. That's all I can say about that. That's all I can say.
All right, guys,
I can't speak on what I don't know. I don't know. It ain't something else going on.
Well, we got a few more categories to go. So, real quick for you guys, who was your Potato of the Year?
Eris Landy Lara by a wide margin. Spent the whole motherfucking time tweeting tough tweets. Yeah, that's right. I picked Lara. You spent the whole time tweeting tough tweets, talking shit about what you're going to do at 160, and spent the whole time at 154 fighting fucking Marderosian again. Motherfucking, you about to fight Yuri Foreman. You should get Potato with a decade for that shit.
Ishe Smith.
To dig up Yuri.
Don't forget Ishe Smith.
You had to dig up Ishe Smith, Jay Zavek, Vanez, and now Yuri Foreman for 2017. So you start in 2017 on a potato note. It's like I can't, and you're talking hella bullshit on Twitter though. Talking hella bullshit. You could have been moved up and fought somebody mandatory to corner that man and get that fight. But nah, you too busy trying to break this record that nobody really gonna give a fuck about anyway. So that's my potato. Ibn, I'm gonna pass that shit off to you. Lara's my potato.
Man, you just don't like Lara, man. But
yeah, cause I'm wrong, right?
No, you don't like him though. You know you don't like him. But my potato, I really don't have a guy that's a potato except Povetkin, because like Povetkin, but Tyson Fury's a potato because how you go do all of that and then just like start getting on and like, and I would never clown somebody for having like a problem, having the illness, but I'm like, you're on top of the world. You're the heavyweight champ. You just knocked off the champ that was the champ for 11 years straight. You're the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't blame you. You're the guy. And I don't blame Ibn. I don't blame Ibn for that choice, because it's like he was letting fans know.
Yeah,
you
but
like
here-
what you're
well, here's if I could speak on behalf of guys with mental health and as far as success goes, I think we know the tale too many times of famous people who are still clinically depressed no matter what their success is. So I don't want to claim that to be too much. But
That's why I didn't clown you.
yeah, but what
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt.
but what I'll say, but hold on, but let me add to that though. The reason why I can't completely let him off the hook though is because for me it looks like you were afraid that Klitschko would come back for that ass, and you would look like a fluke in this situation for whatever your one was, and that's why I can't completely let him off the hook. Because now he's talking about coming back full-fledged, like nothing was a problem anymore. So.
And he's talking about Deontay Wilder. That's who he got in the crosshairs. That's who he named. That's who he's going after. That's the only name I've seen. I didn't see him talk about Joshua. I ain't see him talk about no Vladimir Klitschko rematch neither, which I thought was odd. I think you might want to show the world that you can do it twice. Because it's a good fight for the money. It's a good fight for the money regardless of the titles if you could do it twice. But he ain't say nothing about Klitschko. He talking about some Wilder. And we know how a lot of people look at Wilder that, out of all the guys holding the title, you could arguably say that he's the most susceptible to being beaten. Arguably. I don't agree with that contention, but I do see it thrown around a lot. So it's odd to me.
I don't know if that's I never even thought he was depressed.
I can't tell you that he wasn't depressed because people were shitting on him from the moment he won that fight. So I don't know that he wasn't depressed.
And on top of that, I mean, on top of that, he is kind of a loony character. He is somewhat of a loose cannon.
Shit though, like he was still listen. This is the only reason why. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards his situation mentally, but I'm just saying he was still talking his regular old Tyson Fury Gypsy King shit. Then I'm like, well, you depressed and shit. Like you still talking. Like why are you not like high somewhere high as shit? They gotta put you somewhere or something. Like I don't know. I mean, I ain't trying to be the Dr. Phil of the shit, but I don't know that because he's talking shit that he's still not depressed. That's what I'm saying. He could be. That could just be the times when he felt good about himself. So who am I, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be. But you still a potato because you blew it and you let us all down. I started riding with the Gypsy King. You know that, Joyce. I was like,
that's true. That is true. Ibn was actually one of the few guys, my man, highlighting the fact that Fury basically took away the right hand with them feints.
Yeah.
He's one of the only guys I've seen saying that shit. Everybody else was talking shit. Ibn and I think it was Ibn and Wante. I think it was
because what I wanted to point out was this: he was the first person in years to make Klitschko miss the jab. He made him miss. He didn't try to block it. He wasn't getting hit. He was making him miss, moving his head, and nobody didn't do that. And what I was saying was, Klitschko, his muscle memory, when he touched you with the jab, he let the sledgehammer go. But when he wasn't touching the jab, he wasn't letting the sledgehammer go. So that was genius. That was great boxing with Fury. Then I was messing with it.
All right.
I mean, everybody was like, it was sloppy. I was like, man, the game plan was the game plan. And he big hooky ball, and it worked.
All right.
But it was smart and it worked. But it was smart and it worked. I loved it.
So, all right.
I'm like, but now you're going to do that, but then you're going to turn around and this how you going to repay me for working with you? Like, nah.
It's the merit of the shit. Like I said, on one hand, I feel what you're saying, but it's just that when you look at how he was treated for the performance after winning the fight, and in his own country, mind you, because it's not like he wasn't pulling no punches.
Yeah, he's definitely not. I'll tell you what. He's as far as the heavyweights go, he is not the darling of England. Like that's clearly Anthony Joshua's. That's Anthony Joshua's role. Right now. So I mean, I can see that.
He got treated like Tim Bradley.
If you're gonna be real, Anthony Joshua is being groomed to be the next Lennox Lewis.
Yeah,
Tyson Fury is a wild card. Nobody knew he was going to do that. Nobody knew he was going to be the undisputed heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody knew that.
Well, I mean, overall, I guess it's a decent pick for Potato of the Year. But let's go on to our what the fuck moment of the year. Or to keep it G-rated, the WTF moment of the year. And I kind of want to try to breeze through this because I know our next category is going to be pretty lengthy, so I'll try to keep it brief. My WTF moment of the year was Juanma Lopez, who scored a TKO over Wilfredo Vasquez Jr. And it was stopped after a barrage of punches. The ref stops it. Juanma starts celebrating in the ring, and you see him start gesturing over to Vasquez Jr.'s corner, and clearly out of frame. And then all of a sudden, he's charging over and he's fist fighting with the trainer. And on top of it, what makes this such a WTF moment is the fact that the trainer caught him with a mean left hook that actually had him staggered. Juanma actually got staggered for a bit, but they're still throwing hands. Like, it was just this moment actually was on like World Star Hip Hop and like these random sports sites. Like for a minute. So this was definitely like I had like casual friends of mine or people who don't even watch the sport hit me up like, yo, did you see this shit? Like it was just a crazy moment. I mean, overall that was definitely a WTF moment to me. What about you guys?
My brother told me about that. My brother is casual. That's real.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. He did. He had called my phone like, what's the boy name? Lopez. I'm like, what? He like, Lopez, he got a friend, his name Juan Lopez. I'm like, Juan. I'm like, Juanma? He like, yeah. He like, yo, he got pieced by the trainer. My brother, he a casual. I'm like, what?
Yo.
He's like, no, he put me on to it, and I went and seen it.
Yo, for anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to post this video on Ring IQ immediately after we're done recording this because it's a must-see if anyone hasn't seen this shit. Like, it's too funny. So, you guys?
Yeah. Oh, no, I mean, my what the fuck moment of the year, it's been a few what the fucks. I kind of wanted, because I laughed a little bit. Watching boys cry, it's kind of cold-blooded, but it makes me laugh. Like, when my son cries, I laugh at him. I can't help. My father did it to me, and it's just in me to do that. So when I see Shakur crying, I laughed a little bit, because, like, you could see his gums. If I got to say what the fuck moment of the year was, it had to be when Tyson Fury said that fruity shit. And he said some fruity shit. And everybody forgot, and this is kind of like why I kind of believe that, like, yo, he got problems, man, because I don't know what you hope to achieve by saying you going to bend over Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, and I ain't even going to say what he said. Like, y'all had to look it up.
Damn.
But that's my what the fuck. Like, what the fuck were you thinking, dog? Like, what are you hoping to, like, what are you hoping to accomplish with that statement? Like, but... That's my moment of the year. Like, I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
I mean, that was probably that inner Tyson moment where, I guess he was sharing his namesake's moment where, I'll fuck you till you love me, faggot type shit.
Yeah, I guess. Like, he was just, the cocaine was talking. Maybe that was cocaine talking. I don't know.
Maybe.
Man, my what the F moment was, and I hate to say this, but I gotta say it because I gotta keep it real, was Bernard.
You talking about the Joe Smith fight?
Yeah, the reason why it's a what the F is because people been knocked out of the ring before, right? But usually, when you get knocked out of the ring, for some reason, you're near the table. So you don't go all the way down. When Bernard got hit, he went straight through and went straight down, upside down. And it was just like, what the? And then he said his ankle hurt. So I was like, how your ankle hurt? Because I see him go upside down. You see what I'm saying? Now, listen, I love Bernard Hopkins. I'm from Philly. I live in Philly. And, I'm going to encounter this guy, but I'm not even going to sit up here and lie right now. Because I was like, what the? Like, and then I'm like, Bernard, your ankle don't hurt, Ski. Like, it don't, because, like, you didn't fall on your ankle. Nah, then he was saying that he got pushed. But the thing about it was, mentally, I cannot say that I'm not sure that he didn't believe that he did. Because, like, your mental will, like, fighters have, like, they're mentally strong. And when you believe that people can't do stuff, you believe that they can't do stuff. So in your mind, he had to push you.
Yeah.
We know he didn't get pushed.
I mean,
he didn't get pushed.
Oh, yeah, we know.
I think that go back to the podcast that me and Georgie, where we was because we was talking about it, and it's like I think it was Georgie that said it, but he was like, he probably did believe he was pushed, and maybe that's true. But when you watch that replay, you got fucking hit, dog. Like
Three times.
I don't think.
Three
I don't think
times.
nothing about it, because it's like, yo, it's Bernard, damn, you ain't fought nobody since 2014, so I don't even take nothing from you. Like, I don't measure you by that fight. You better than that fight. That's the last fight you
But
had.
it ain't about that. It's crazy how I'm trying to say it. It's like, it ain't even about that. Because, like, to me, like, if it was up to me, he wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
I wish he wasn't there. Like, I wish he ain't even do that like that. But it was what it was.
I mean, I guess you can basically, what you could say overall was the fact that he was taking this fight was a what the fuck moment itself.
Yeah,
really.
it was, yeah.
But,
Him and Roy,
I mean,
man. Him and Roy, man.
Wait. We talking about some what the fuck fight. Fucking Roy Jones versus this bare knuckle. That announcement that Roy is still fighting. That is
Roy is what the
like all these guys, man, like they are running what the fuck candidates of the year, honestly.
I love Roy, man. I love Roy and I love Bernard. They tripping.
All right, guys. We're gonna cut this part short, but that was a good pick. I didn't even, even though it was more recent, I didn't even consider it. But I'm gonna think that this is gonna be, or at least it should be, a unanimous decision here on our winner. But Duck of the Year. And it should be very easy, and I'll break it down into 3 reasons how this ended up being a whole duck. But Canelo Alvarez takes by a wide margin, gets the gold medal of Duck of the Year. For one, claiming that he needed a fight and preparing for Gennady Golovkin. That fight was Amir Khan. A welterweight brought up to 155 pounds. In a fight we discussed earlier where Virgil Hunter was very upset afterward. So after the fight, we're thinking, okay, well, all right, whatever. Maybe he needed a confidence boost. So Gennady Golovkin was called to the ring. He was ringside watching. Was told among the fans, very hype fans, and I've noticed that this is just a trait with Canelo Alvarez, is that when he really is like feeling himself after these fights and just starts talking like just crazy shit. Like he's just really feeling himself, and told him we don't fuck around, and turns out 2 weeks later he fucked around and vacated his belt, and his explanation for vacating this title was the fact that belts don't make him. He's a bigger superstar than any type of belt could ever mean to him. So what was his next move? To fight for a belt for the weakest competitor in the division. So that is a epic 3-strike duck for Canelo Alvarez. And
Look, man, I gotta get this off my chest, because in 2017, I am not trying to still be talking about Canelo, man. There's a lot of motherfuckers that got a lot of violins out for this kid, man. And I'm not saying that Triple G is a saint. I'm just saying that in this particular situation, the blame has to be assigned to Canelo Alvarez. I can't overlook all this bullshit. All right, you had to get permission to fight Cotto. You had to get permission to do that, so you knew what was coming. The least you could have did in 2016 was fight a fucking middleweight. Even if you didn't want to fight Golovkin yet, you could have at least fought a middleweight, and you still ain't do that. We still waiting on you to do that, so you gotta get duckety.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I feel that he was fucking around. I still think that he's fucking around to a degree. But the fact that I feel that they still negotiating, and I feel that these guys feel like they have a Mayweather situation on their hands.
No. You are not going to do that. This is Duck of the Year. This is Duck of the Year. This is Duck of the Year.
I'm not fucking.
This isn't. No, listen, Ibn. Listen. Ibn's trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's saying these things are still proceeding. I'm talking about a Duck of the Year within 2016. He was completely avoided Golovkin in 2016. And that's just pretty much what the bare facts is. Unless you got... Listen, all right, well, how about this? Who's your Duck of the Year? Can someone top what that? I mean, I gave you a trifecta of what Canelo did. Who tops exactly what Canelo did this year?
This is my personal opinion. This is my personal opinion on ducks, right? See, you got Frampton and them who
they just not going to fight Rigondeaux at all. And like the sanctioning bodies just helped, in my opinion. WBA helped. So you got that. You got a guy like, and it's not. This didn't even materialize yet. But this is just the mentality of fighters right now. Right? You got Charlo after he knocked J-Rock out. He's in his presser. Boo Boo come in there. He tries to act like he don't even know Boo Boo is. Like Boo Boo wasn't about to fight his brother the year before that, and he ain't a dude that had the belt. That one of y'all got, he used to have it, and he got stripped. Y'all know this guy.
See, but
act like you don't know him.
But here's
the mentality of these guys right now. The mentality.
You can't say conclusively that Charlo is taking the steps.
I didn't say he. That's why I just did I say? I can't say Canelo is ducking when they still talking, they still throwing offers back.
For 2016, Ibn, not what's preceding.
No, listen, that's because you talking about a fight. You talking about a situation where all of these fighters, where both sides feel as though this is the biggest fight that could be made in boxing, and it's the biggest money maker that could be made in boxing. It's the same thing when people were saying Floyd was ducking and people were saying Pacquiao was ducking.
That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing.
No, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's the same thing. You knew finite and conclusively the terms that was given to you. You knew that man was waiting for you if you beat Cotto. Now, you could have did what Cotto did. Cotto did it smart. Win or lose, I'm not fighting Golovkin, so I'm not going to pay these fees, and y'all ain't got me by the balls. But if you insist on paying sanctioning fees and defending your middleweight title against a chinny welterweight, then you an asshole, and that's Duck of the Year.
All right, well,
He didn't have the title. He gave it. They took it. He didn't even have it, did he? Didn't they take it before that?
No, he relinquished the shit. He relinquished the shit.
Right, exactly.
But what was the statement? What was the statement that he released after he vacated the title? That, I'm going to come back better than ever, I'm going to fight Golovkin. It's just that I'm bigger than the title, and the WBC is fabricating, quote-unquote, fabricating deadlines. You knew about them deadlines before you even beat Cotto.
He knew that, yeah, he knew that before Cotto, yeah.
You got to understand something. That belt was going to make him have to give Gennady Golovkin and them 40%. Wasn't going to happen.
Listen, they were going to give that, they were going to offer that had they not come to an agreement.
You got to realize.
But they offered $10 million after they did it. Then they offered $15
million. But
he saved Cotto, not for nothing, and I'm a Cotto fan, but I got to keep it a buck. He saved Cotto an ass whooping, because if he wasn't going to fight Canelo, well, we know who the mandatory was, and Cotto wouldn't have had no outs. He would have either had to vacate that
vacate too if he ain't come to a catchweight. Cotto was going to vacate.
They both would have.
See everybody talking about, though. They ain't talking about how Cotto ain't pay that fee. Cotto ducked them too on some slick shit. That's
Listen, if both of them was going to get the same outcome. If Golovkin wasn't coming to no catchweight, they wasn't fighting. Then Canelo and them was like, all right, well, fuck it. We'll fight at 160, but now I'm saying we want that paper. So listen, you take this. Now you got $5 million. We gonna give you 10. No. Okay. 15. No. You know what I'm saying? So they going back and forth.
All right. Well. All right. Well. This is all right. Well. Listen. Look. Hold on. Let's. So we just so we can move on though. Because listen.
That fight has to happen.
But just for.
Hold on. Let's get one thing straight. Before we stop it, let's get one thing straight. That fight has to happen. Now, whether Golovkin going to be too old or he going to be, or whatever, that's something else that we could talk about. But that fight has to happen. So when
that don't mean that he ain't ducked the shit out of him in 2016.
And to my point, and to piggyback that, Ibn, you got to get, who is your ducker of the year then? If Canelo doesn't top that, if Canelo doesn't top it for you, I need to know who's your duck of the year.
How are you ducking when you still negotiating?
Who's your duck of the year?
Because you ain't fight him in 2016.
No, let him. Look, we got to do that. We got to we got to move on.
Frampton duck Rigondeaux, bro.
So he's your duck of the year. So he's your duck of the year.
Frampton duck Rigondeaux.
He's a duck of the year.
He did.
Frampton duck Rigondeaux. I said 3 times. You keep asking.
No,
he did. You right.
Listen, I know he did. Like, I don't think that's not debatable. I'm just trying to figure out who's your pick for duck of the year.
I just told you,
Frampton. All right, so he's your fighter of the year and ducker of the year.
Yeah, that's their mentality. That's what I just said about boxing, period.
Oh, man.
It's like, I'm dead up. I know you fighter of the year. I know you the fighter of the year. I told y'all how reluctant I was, and I told y'all why. Hold on, let me explain myself. When I said that man was fighter of the year, I told y'all how reluctant I was. I said very, very, very reluctantly, and I told y'all why. I said because you get past the fighter and you're not even talking to him. That's worse. Skipping past the fighter and not even talking to him is worse than I vacated, but me and you were still throwing offers back and forth. Because when me and you were throwing offers back and forth, that's saying that I'm going to fight you.
See, but all right.
Let me allude to a simple point, just a simple point. By that same criteria, right? By that same criteria that you just used, that you basically avoided the fighter, and you ain't even talking to him no more now. Like, y'all ain't even in negotiations no more.
Because you're not going to ever fight him. Right.
You can say the same shit about Eubank Jr. He done went up to one. He kind of did the same thing to Golovkin that Carl Frampton did to Rigo. You going up to 168 to fight this who the fuck for a title that isn't even a major title. Ultimately, it all goes back to Golovkin is being tucked. Canelo Alvarez is the biggest sucker of 2016, and if we had
Eubank Jr.
All right, wait, guys, we got to move on. Guys, we got to move on because Chris Eubank Jr. is a whole other thing. But like I said, because I knew that was going to be a long one. But I think we can all. Well, I think it's only down related to two picks here for knockout of the year. Julius, we talked for a little bit before. I mean, originally my pick was going to be Deontay Wilder's knockout of Arthur Szpilka. With, I mean, you just talk about utter devastation. I mean, the guy he fell like a beach umbrella in the wind. I mean, the way he fell down was just hard. But when it came down to it, we also were putting like a mesh together of not only just the devastation of the knockout, but its meaning, like its effectiveness or meaningfulness, whatever word I'm trying to search for here, at the same time. And with that, I came to the conclusion of Edward Travansky versus Julius Ndogo, where huge upset with the KO, and on top of it, folded him like a beach chair.
He didn't get to do shit. And for that reason, it's like, if I pick a knockout of the year, it's gonna be based on how vicious it was, how much how terrible and how damaging was that punch. And when I look at that Ndongo knockout of Troyanovsky, it's like, dog, he didn't even get to do shit. Like, you didn't get to do nothing. At least Artur Szpilka had moments of success against Deontay Wilder. He did have moments of success. He did have moments where he made Wilder look flustered and lost in the fight. Troyanovsky didn't get none of that.
He left on a stretcher.
He did. I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm just saying that at least he had moments in the fight. You could go back, you could look at the fight, and you can see that, all right, well, at least Artur Szpilka for the better portion of that fight, he was in the fight. Troyanovsky don't got nothing like that, man. You ain't even make it to the second round. You just got put the fuck out.
Did you guys? I'm mad because I don't know this kid's name, but it was a kid on. He was on Facebook, and it was in the group, and it was in like every boxing group.
Was it an amateur knockout?
The red, black, and white. He had on the red, black, and white fatigue title set.
Yep, I seen it.
Headgear.
Yeah,
bro,
I seen it.
That was the nastiest knockout, one of the nastiest joints I ever seen in my life. It was a 1-2-1-2, and it was a straight right hand. It was the crispiest up straight right hand was the up joint. And he made him do the mannequin challenge and like fall down face first, and it was the nastiest joint I ever like. It was the craziest joint I ever seen with a headgear on.
Yeah, I think we.
See that? You gotta see that in Ndongo.
I do not know that kid's name, but I know he's from Florida because Caesar was like, that's how we do down our way. And he was from around Caesar in them neighborhoods somewhere. And shout outs to him, and I'm gonna find out his name, and I'm gonna shout it out on the next podcast because I'm sorry, but that was the nastiest one I've seen.
Yeah.
Charlo got my boy J-Rock. I love J-Rock to death, but he countered, uppercutted him. He caught it with the right, and then he just turned that right to the uppercut. And that was mean. Like,
that was. I ain't going front. I was gonna give it to them originally, to Charlo, But it's like, that didn't look worse than how Troyanovsky.
No, it didn't look worse, did it?
He looked like he got put out like, you know when you wash the carpet, the welcome mat, and then you lay that shit out in front of the door. That's how he felt. Like he just like it wasn't, and that was in the first round though, and that was for the IBF 140-pound title.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like it shook up, you know. It shook up what was supposed to be in play because that was supposed to be Terrence Crawford's next opponent. But
exactly.
But let's go on to our next category. We're down to we're down to the last three. Promoter of the year, and I think we all can agree, Eddie Hearn is the winner of the Promoter of the year.
Eddie.
And
he make it happen.
I got love for Eddie Fasano Ortiz, like I love Eddie Hearn.
That was a great pickup
man.
for him.
You know what? I give the UK a hard time. I love Eddie Hearn, man. I do.
Yeah, Eddie Hearn is good for boxing, man.
And I mean, like I said, the only
I like Anthony Joshua. I like Eddie Hearn. I like James DeGale.
And the best thing about him though is like he has a good formula. You know what I mean? Like it's not really a witness protection field that he has too much. I mean, I think Frank Warren's more guilty of that. I think his counterpart Frank Warren is a bit more guilty of that. But I mean, he has a nice little formula, and you know he has great working relationships with everybody. Which he has a power play on other promoters here that they don't have. Like he can work with Al, he can work with K2.
Cool with everybody.
Yeah, he's cool with everybody, so he doesn't really have any beef, and that's really worked out to his advantage. So big props for Eddie Hearn, and it seems like, and I guess to be honorably mentioned, and not to really have much of a running, but big shout out to Al Heyman and Bob Arum for settling, you know, like getting some fights done together themselves. You know,
I actually want to highlight a more of an honorable mention because Bob Arum is still running reruns, man. Don't forget he gave us Bradley out 3, and now he's trying to match Manny with Jeff Horn. So it's more of the same for me when it comes to Bob. But if somebody deserves an honorable mention, it's Al Heyman because he gave us Thurman versus Porter, and now he's about to give us Thurman versus Garcia. So you know what I mean? Like all in all, he's making them fight, and that's what we all really wanted to see out of the PBC guys. We wanted to see them guys fuck each other up. Now we got to see Thurman and Porter fuck each other up. So if anybody is number 2 on that list, it gotta be Al. It gotta be. Bob doing the same old shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So now to breakout fighter of the year. This can go either way. You could, it doesn't necessarily fall on the prospect guy who just made a big name for himself. This could also be an established fighter who just had a real breakout year for himself, and to be a star maker or a big marketable fighter. And my pick for breakout fighter of the year was Oscar Valdez. He obtained the WBO lightweight championship, defended it twice in great fashion, both on undercards. I believe his first defense was under the Terrence Crawford and Victor Postal fight, where he just looked astounding, man. He's just going to be a problem for a long time, and I could see a nice fight brewing up between him and Joseph Diaz, which would be. I'm pretty sure if I'm Golden Boy, they're probably not looking forward to at least try to keep him away from an Oscar Valdez. But Oscar Valdez for me, breaking out as a prospect and to really just coming off a launch pad. And I actually posted on Ring IQ today that it seems that him and Nonito Donaire are looking to get into. Have a fight scheduled sometime next year or early next year too. So like I said, man, this guy just has is just limitless for what's next for him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, fighter breakout star of the year, I think that would have to go to Vasyl Lomachenko. There's a lot of people, when you a breakout star, once they start hating on you, when they start hating on you. That's really when you about to reach the pinnacle. Now, Vasyl does have a lot of people that's wondering how does a guy with so little fights get into these pound-for-pound conversations. But Vasyl Lomachenko overall, as far as 2016, well, he beat the shit out of Rocky Martinez. And contentiously, some people have their theories about what went into the fight. But he beat Nicholas Walters. You know what I'm saying? And there's the matchups that they're giving Vasyl Lomachenko, that there's talks that they might match him up against anyone from Manny Pacquiao to Mikey Garcia, even Terrence Crawford. That's showing you that, like, yeah, man, like, he's in the conversation. He really had a good year, and he would have to be my breakout star of the year.
Yeah, he's my breakout for the reason that he won the fight that said, okay, now you're on pound for pound. You see what I'm saying? Even though he already was on pound for pound, but if you know, when you look at what pound for pound is about, okay, this guy that you beat, that you outclassed, that you made quit, that you didn't lose a round to, you know what I'm saying? You stopped him, basically. This guy was your only equal down there, basically. And this is the reason why we have to start talking about Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao and all this crazy stuff. You know, so with that being said, yeah, he broke out all the way onto the mat. Valdez, I agree with the Valdez pick, but Valdez didn't reach this level.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't want to think that they got matched for star making ability. I'm just saying, as far as who made bigger elevations for their career, I felt like Lomachenko was already a force to be reckoned with, and people at least should have been paying attention to him at a certain point in time. I think he really only legitimized whatever people thought of him that weren't originally onto him in the first place. So that's what I mean. It was more of an underlier for me. I felt like Valdez just made a bigger leap for himself. That's all I'm saying.
He kind of did, but I think that Vasyl brought himself into the conversation as being one of the next, more, at least a lot closer, being one of the stars.
Casually
this is a guy you can tell. You can tell
Valdez didn't leap casually. Listen, Valdez didn't leap casually.
Yeah.
Vasyl Lomachenko leaped casually and he leaped boxing wise because of who Walters is boxing wise as well. So I still lean towards Lomachenko.
Okay.
He leaped with fans.
Well, here's our last category to get us up out of here, because this is I think we are, we've been on for a minute. But sanctioning body of the year, this is not really a typical category. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a really typical category, but you're already saying it. WBC, it's my pick.
For doing what the IBF do every day.
Yeah, well, but
not just that.
But
the
here,
clean boxing program. How you think they got Povetkin? With the clean boxing program? They in bed with VADA. So everybody in the top 10, it's either everybody in the top 10 or the top 15. They got to get tested regularly.
And not just with VADA. I also would at least commend them on their efforts for trying to make big fights go down. Even though Canelo had his own way of working things out. They tried on several occasions to get the Golovkin fight to go down. I mean, they're still even posting it now I don't know if it's really official, but I've been seeing the WBC post.
But they gave Golovkin the belt without making him fight for it, though. IBF follow all the rules of boxing all the time.
True.
WBC did do better than what they have been known. They known to be money grab boards, and they following rules right now. And I commend them.
The IBF got their shit to them too, because I don't feel, and this go back to what we was talking about earlier, but I don't feel that they should have stripped Tyson Fury. That's just me. I don't think they should have did that. There was a rematch clause. Offer that man some leniency because he has the legal right to that man in the match. And they took that.
I didn't like that. And I was rocking.
They took that belt like 2 weeks. 2 weeks after he won.
They didn't give him no time. That wasn't right. And
the WBC, I think personally, if that was the WBC, they would have been a little bit more understanding. Like, well, you know what I mean? It's not like he trying to skip out and fight some who the fuck.
They didn't say nothing. WBC didn't say nothing. I mean, no matter of fact, WBC ain't had nothing to do with it. Wilder got their stuff. Yeah, but you're right. They wouldn't have did that. I don't think they would have did that either.
Well,
they would have respected that rematch. But that's what I'm saying. But they gave Golovkin the threat without making him fight a.
Hey, but it's not unprecedented. That's not unprecedented.
Look at the circumstances, though.
But you didn't make him beat him.
And look how long he's been. Yeah, he's been holding on to that damn diamond belt for forever now.
Yeah, no, like he been. Man,
Sergio, what I'm saying. No, I'm not saying
Sergio had the belt. Sergio had it, man.
What I'm saying is, you didn't fight and beat nobody for it. I'm not saying that Golovkin don't get the fight. I'm not saying that Golovkin's not in the first opportunity. But what I'm saying is, you just make him the champion.
Yeah.
That's like a money grab, because like
you know why I agree with you a little bit, because of how they treating the Burn situation.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I do a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that you got to fight somebody. That's all I'm saying. Goddamn, fight somebody.
Because they said they not just going to give it to. They said that's their words. That's a quote from them.
See, and that's the thing. They're very spontaneous with certain events, and that, like you said, only the WBC would probably been able to work something out as far as Tyson Fury situation. Knowing, I mean, because they're just conditional like that. But
definitely.
That's gonna wrap things up for us. I mean, that was a pretty nice, lengthy, substantive podcast. So, I mean, I hope there's gonna be patient folks out there who really listen to the whole thing.
But when you at work, listen to this at work. You know what I'm saying? Listen to this like when you out with your wife and all that. You got the headphones in and she got you.
Or when you in the car. When you in the car, you drive somewhere you want.
And
stay up to date.
Just shout out to my co-host for tagging along with me through this journey. I started this channel in July. Started, making consistent videos. They're about the late July, and I've been taking off since, and slowly growing as a channel with good content. Make sure I got great perspectives, and I wouldn't be able to do that without my co-host. So I want to give a big shout out to you guys, Ibn, Julius, for tagging along with me through this process, journey, whatever you want to call it. So, as far as the good things that could actually took place in 2016, I would like to say that you guys were definitely a part of it. So thank you very much for that.
No problem,
man. You're welcome, man. It's mutual, and you're welcome. And man, we just gonna keep on doing our thing, talking the game. It's gonna get more in depth to you guys, cause we are growing in what we're doing in boxing respectively. I'm around people, more on the inside, and I ain't dropping names, none of that stuff. But we're gonna get into some stuff, cause there's some things that go on in boxing sometimes, guys. It's just dirty.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something else, man. Regardless of what happens this year, next year, just don't forget, fuck Lara.
Man, you hate Lara. Man. I told you I hate Lara.
Oh man.
Listen, ring out, you don't hate Lara. Julius hates
No, they don't.
I don't hate Lara.
I didn't say they did. I just said, don't forget. Fuck Lara, that's all.
You can't forget. Well, to close things up, hope all you guys have a happy new year. Other than the bullshit as far as just socially and things along in real life that went on in 2016, it was good to have a nice refuge with boxing, because in all honesty, the entertainment wasn't that bad. I mean, we had to come up out of our pockets a few times, but I mean, hey, at this point, it's whatever.
Hey man, Errol Spence beating the shit out of Chris Algieri was free. So I like 2016 as far as boxing.
Porter versus Durbin was free too.
Yeah, and again, shout out to Eddie Hearn, because the more he has these fights, the less we got to come out of our pockets too. So
Al Heyman, think Al Heyman too.
Yeah, Al Heyman too. So on behalf,
Al Heyman, listen, if you don't got cable, you was watching boxing on Bell TV and all that.
Yeah,
you in a converter box, and you live in the urban community.
Fire stick.
You was watching boxing.
So on behalf of myself, Julius, and Evan, Happy New Year. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Peace.